Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means. The other three are along for the ride. Tyler, say hi.
Howdy.
James, say what's up.
How's it going?
And Braiden, how you doing?
How are you guys?
Very, very good. Better now that you're in our presence, so that's pretty cool. We are joined by Braiden Ward, outfielder, speedy outfielder of the Fresno Grizzlies, and to say that we are pumped would be a complete understatement. We've been watching you pretty closely all year, all season, these last 2 months, and you coming onto the scene. Have you felt that at all on your end? Like as a player, kind of like a late rounds guy, and then all of a sudden, hey guys, I'm here.
I'd say no, only because I feel like everyone who goes into pro baseball, like you're expected from everyone else to hit 250, be like average. But I feel like everyone, has that sense of they think they should be like a Cy Young Award winner or win the batting title every year. So it's like everyone on our team, expects to rake and expects to hit and expects to, be like Mason Green today and one hit through 7. It's like what you expect of yourself. And I think that's just like what we do really well is we hold high expectations for ourselves.
So nothing new to you at all.
I mean, I'm gonna say I expected to do this, but that's just being cocky, I guess.
No, it's not.
More confident.
It's confidence. Yes, we'll say confidence with that, because I mean, you have to have that mental going into this. Otherwise, you wouldn't be where you are, and you wouldn't be sitting here talking
you already
to us,
lost,
right? Yeah, you're not going to be doing what you're doing right now. So, pretty cool. I want to start with this question, then we'll get into your career. What's more fun for you, running down a fly ball or hitting a double or triple, like legging that out?
Definitely running the bases, just because I can turn singles into doubles and doubles into triples. And like, I can physically see like the pressure that I put on people, like whether in the outfield of them having to rush it or the infield, et cetera. It's like, or hearing the coaches in the background screaming, right off the bat, you're setting up 3, it's fun.
Yeah. Watching your games, the few that we get to see on MILB, it's really apparent that you love putting that extra pressure on pitchers and defenders, and your ability to leg out, either, I don't know, 10-foot dribblers or hitting bombs. I mean, you're kind of doing it all. I made the comparison of you, you're the single A Trey Turner right now, because the way that you're hitting for high average, but you can drop a bomb here and there, but just the pressure you put on everybody is something that it seems like you really relish as part of your game.
Yeah, no, I love speed and I love causing havoc and creating chaos. I mean, my whole job is just to get on base. Like, I'll be the first one to say I'm not a home run hitter. I'll hit some, but we talk about how more home runs are thrown than hit. So they're just throwing it at my barrel, I guess.
Well, so we got to ask, because, you did hit 6 home runs in your collegiate summer league days, but you hit just 3 in, official NCAA games, but you have 4 already this year. Like what's gone on? Like, are bats just suppressed at UW, or what's going on?
No, hated the Rawlings bats. You ask anyone at UW, the Easton bats we have now, way better. But yeah, let's just mess with Rawlings. No, it was I learned how to be a really good leadoff hitter at Washington, but that meant having to take a lot and having to be comfortable getting into deep counts and comfortable, working the counts and be good with 2 strikes. So that was something I had to take sign a lot. So like there were a lot of times I had to take 2-0, 3-1, 0-0. And with the Rockies, it's completely different mindset. They want you to finish the at bat on like the first 3 pitches and hit the first best pitch.
It's
fun. Like I love hitting the first best pitch. It's so much fun, especially not getting to do it in college that much.
Yeah, and that's interesting for us. We watch the big league club a ton, and we're a pretty aggressive team. The Rockies are not, top of the league in walks, but they're, up there when it comes to contact percentage and how many balls they're putting in play. So that is interesting to hear from being at low A, and that's like the philosophy being instilled to you guys already.
Oh, like, yeah, like you can't bunch your way to the big leagues and you can't walk your way to the big leagues. You got to hit, and hitting's fun.
Some of the guys that we talked to, they talking about the college game and pro, they really love it in the fact that the college game is different because you are getting those take signs and every day is a full-time job and you're really diving into training and drills and all of that. Whereas at the major league level, in the pro ball level, it's, you just come in, do what you need to do, and kind of have fun with it in that sense that you just do what you have to do essentially. And so is that something that you kind of resonate with between the differences between college ball and pro ball?
100%. Because in college, we used to call it a 56 game playoff. Every game mattered. Like, and that's not saying that in pro ball, every game doesn't matter because you want to win every game. But, if you literally one game might make the difference if you make it a regional or, now making the Pac-12 tournament. Like, you look at the Dogs, like we won 12 straight to make the Pac-12 tournament, which is like unreal. Go Dogs. Like I said, the UW softball's on right now, playing Texas. Game 3, baby.
Let's go.
But yeah, no, like in pro ball, it's weird because, like, let's say you have a terrible game, you go 0 for 3, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, like I did twice this weekend. Fun. But like you look back at after the game and you're like, I got 100 more games left. Or, you win 4 in a row and then you lose 9-1, I think we did against the Dodgers, and we had like 3 hits or something. And our manager's just like, hey guys, get them tomorrow. Like no big deal. Whereas in college, you would have got screamed at and, murdered. So it's a lot more lackadaisical. But the cool thing is that they let you be a man. They let you really take ownership of your career, because like they're not going to tell you to do something. They'll suggest stuff, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. And at the end of the day, if you're not performing and you're also not doing what they're saying, you're just gone.
Right. It really you really need to grow up and do your job. Like, this is officially your job, right? You're still playing a game, but
it is weird thinking about it. Like there'll be days where it's like, let's say I go, get dinner after the game, and I'm like, dude, I need to like get a job so I can afford to eat out all the time. And I'm like, wait, I'm getting paid. and by the way, the fact that they pay for rent now is actually so huge. I never obviously got to experience the non-rent part, but just talking to like teammates I have now that like have bills to pay, adding another $1,000 a month to these guys like that are barely making ends meet as it is. Oh, I couldn't imagine.
Right. That was a huge step forward this past off season. Did you hear any stories about like people trying to find living like in the past years and like how terrible that was?
Yeah. I think I had some friends in the Angels team that like, I think they said they had like, it was a 2-bedroom apartment with like 8 guys in it.
Yeah.
Just a mattress on the ground with like a blanket, like terrible.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly, if they didn't have if they weren't paying for our stuff, I might just get a camper shelf in my truck and throw a mattress in the back and sleep in the field.
I mean, why not? It worked for Daniel Norris in the off season, so you could do that as well. We never heard anything like that severe, but the call-ups, right? Because our guy Dugan Darnell got called up from Fresno to Spokane pretty quickly last year, and then he had 4 roommates that he needed to like help out and like fill in his room. So they're all scrambling, trying to find somebody to fill in for that. And that's a whole nother mess while you're trying to, perform and do all this other stuff.
And especially too, like you're supposed to be thinking about nothing but baseball and like being the best athlete you can be. You don't want to have these other distractions, especially, at the minor league level when you're not getting paid a lot. So, obviously like money isn't everything, but it definitely does be on your mind if you don't have enough.
Right. And one less thing to have to worry about while you're trying to get set up and trying to get, situated into your new profession, your new job. Because
and that's the one thing that they do really well for us right now is like, we literally just like signed a piece of paper with the Rockies saying like they pay for everything, all the utilities, everything. Don't have to worry about it. But like when we move out, if we like break anything, we have to pay for it. That's literally it. Like we don't have to deal with nothing, which is, being in college for 4 years and being the one that was supposed to pay rent. Right. For all my roommates and having that stress of like, hey guys, Venmo me. Let me send this check out. Let me drive 30 minutes away across the Bellevue Bridge to go pay my landlord.
So
Hassle.
so you would say professional life has been a nice transition for you on the baseball field and off.
I'm blessed. Yeah, I'm blessed to say it's been a good one.
That's great to hear. Like, honestly, that's really cool to hear, because I mean, we love the stories and hearing that inside baseball stuff.
Well,
there.
the cool thing is too is I've heard horror stories even still of like other organizations and other clubs, and I'll be the first one to say, you know, I've been with the Rockies for less than a year, maybe 6 months, but they do a really good job, and they really actually care about us. And like, I think I remember for this spring training, like they pay for our housing or whatnot for spring training, but if you lived outside, like on your own, like not at the site, they still paid for it, like up to a certain amount. And we're in Scottsdale, which obviously is a more expensive area.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, these other places in Arizona. And I think like we had our meeting of like how much they're paying us, and then like 2 days later they came back and they're like, hey, like we actually know the cost of living is actually more expensive, we're going to give you more money. And I've never heard of like a company doing that before, or an organization like, hey guys, like we're actually gonna need you more than we wanted to, because you know you deserve it, or you need it to help you out. So that little thing, like something like that, is like they actually care, and they really do care about us and want us to, you know, take control of our own careers.
I think that's one of the best parts about the Rockies. Everything we see in here is, you know, they do care about their people like a ton. And just saw a story about the Angels, and you know, the Angels are one of the, you know, most valuable organizations, but they're not paying rent for their minor leaguers. You know, they're not really doing much for them, and I can't help but just, you know, worry for those guys.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've heard still some horror stories about, you know, some certain clubs and teams. I ain't gonna say or name drop, but
right.
All I can say is the Rockies do it good.
That's good to hear. Like, from a fan perspective too, that's really cool to hear. We have our own thoughts of the ownership and whatnot for certain reasons on the pro level, but the fact that they're taking care of you, our guys, all the minor league guys, that's really, really cool. So speaking of like teammates and stuff, our guys, what was it like playing with Willie MacIver for a year in Washington when you first got there?
So my Washington team, my freshman year, obviously, you know, we came in second Pac-12 championship, losing the Pac-12 championship at Stanford, went to Omaha, and then, you know, my freshman team was unreal. Like, it's my other teams behind it were like, we're good, and I love the guys, but like that team was nothing but baseball players, and I mean dudes, guys who breathed that sport and did it right. And so it was fun to play with Willie. He was a dude. A bunch of our guys who are still playing pro ball, you know, Levi Jordan, 7th round pick, AAA or AA for the Cubs right now. You know, AJ Graffinino, Nick Cale, you know, just guys who are dudes crushing it. It was fun. Willie was always a good guy. Willie has not changed at all. He's still an absolute goofball.
Yeah, that seems about right. He was very kind and stuff to us. Did you have an opportunity to play in Omaha when you guys were there? Were you able to
I started my freshman year.
Okay.
So I was still that speedy guy. Only reason I batted over 300 because I bunted every at bat. But yeah. I have a video. We were playing Coastal Carolina, and I bunted with 2 strikes, and their whole team, you could just see their body language so upset and so mad. But I think that was me. I could barely get out of the infield.
But like you started this conversation with, like, you love putting that pressure on the guys, and shoot, you were like as a pesky little 18-year-old.
Well, especially like if I know like I have no chance. You know, like I think this guy's just better than me. And like you go up the plate, you see the first one, you're like, yeah, no, I'm done. I've already lost. Like, you know what the difference between striking out, bunting, and striking out is? Nothing. Sure. At least one way I might have a chance of getting the ball down.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. So what was that experience like as a freshman, kind of out of your element, kind of how you're saying, at the CWS like that? How was that Omaha experience?
So it was crazy, but it also was like bittersweet and kind of sucked because like it was my freshman year, so everything was new and everything was eye-opening. So I didn't really get to appreciate it. Like I didn't get to go through 3 years of, you know, let's say winning 6 games in the pack and being awful. to going to Omaha and being like, oh my gosh, this is unreal. I started off, we peaked freshman year. So we're like, oh, this is awesome. We're going to be nice. We'll be back. And I never go back to a regional after that. But I still have, it's one of the best moments of my life. It was so much fun. The whole experience, from the private jet to, your private bus, your own hotel. Insane.
Well, and how was the experience just in Washington? Like, talk about, just the college experience for you.
It was nice. I mean, I loved it. The only thing, like I said, that sucked was by the time I actually turned 21, I could actually go, bar hopping and experience college, was COVID. And so I kind of got that taken away. Yeah, no, I know. And like all my friends now, and like I'll even be the first one to say that, like with college baseball especially, like having a brotherhood and camaraderie is huge. And I think there's a reason that, the best schools of the COVID year were like the Southern schools or University of Arizona and all these teams that could like hang out as a team and go do stuff because their college or their state allowed it. We couldn't even hang out with our own teammates outside of practice. Couldn't use our own locker room. Oh, it was terrible. I hated that year.
It's kind of crazy to think about that. Like, because we've come so far now that it's like, there was a time where a lot of places, that's what life was like. And, mixing organized athletics with that, like I wasn't doing anything at the time, so I can't even imagine what the adjustments you had to make mentally, and then of course physically, like you're saying.
Oh, and then you don't get to know your teammates. You don't get to have those fun, dumb college stories of the great healthy things we did. So it was, like I said, it was bittersweet. Didn't really get to experience Seattle for what it is now. I see my buddies now and hanging out and having a brotherhood and being awesome and getting to actually experience that. So it's nice to see now that they're they're back.
Great.
Dogs are back.
The dogs are back. I was just going to ask you, because we have a little bit of a connection. I'm in Michigan right now, and I want to ask you about your time in Traverse City. But me and a few guys are going up to Seattle for the Washington versus Michigan State game in September. Is there anything we have to go do while we're in Seattle?
Let's see. What are you guys into?
I mean, football and adult beverages and stuff.
Hawks game. Adult beverages. So I think one thing you have to experience that's really unique about University of Washington is we tailgate like crazy, but we also sailgate.
Sailgate.
So you tailgate on a boat in the lake and just get trashed, and then you take like a boat in, and it's really fun to do. So I think you gotta go sailgating. And I know at least one like party barge that they do sailgating, which is fun, but it's a good time. So that's some
okay.
Go to a Hawks game. Get some teriyaki, because Seattle teriyaki is unreal.
Okay. All right. We'll do some sailgating.
That sounds incredible.
No free ads, but we might need you to send
I got you.
That company over.
And there's also another place that it's like a nice brewery with a bunch of like putt golf inside.
Okay.
It's based on the name because it's been 2 years, but it's fun.
Okay. I can probably Google that. All right. It's gonna be a good time. All right. Sailgating. that would be very unique, because I'm really excited for seeing that stadium. Like, it looks beautiful right on the water.
There's a reason it's called the greatest setting in college football. Especially if it's sunny for once, which it won't be, but if it was,
it's middle of September. Yeah.
You see Mount Rainier right there. It's good. Actually, middle of September, you might get lucky.
Okay. Let's cross our fingers. Let's go with it.
Yeah.
So second in steals of all time in Washington, was that, I mean, obviously you're speedy and we kind of keep harping on that, but was that something you kind of set yourself out for, like freshman year, like I'm going to go for this kind of record? Was that one of your goals as you were going through your college career?
Heck no.
It just kind of happened?
Like it was one of those things where I was like, I always considered myself like there were times when I got hot, but I always was like trying to figure out my game and evolve it and craft it. And and stuff. So I never really thought about that. You know, my job was just to get on base, steal, cause havoc, and score. So, and that's what I did. And that's all I thought about. And so I got good at it. And, you know, I ended up stealing a lot of bags. I stole the most my freshman year. And I was like, all right, sweet. That was cool. Now I have to keep doing it.
Right.
Like, I can't do it my freshman year and then let like some other freshman do it the next year when I'm a sophomore. Or, you know, Darren Baker, my boy, have him try to beat me. So I took pride in leading the league in steals, but I never thought that I'd lead in Washington.
Yeah.
So I always thought there'd be some dude from the 50s that, you know, when the catchers were terrible, that just stole 180 bags and whatever. So I never even thought about it.
Do you know who was in the lead or is in the lead?
No
idea.
All I know is if I didn't slump hard for like a few months, I probably would have beaten it hands down.
You would have got there.
Easy.
How did that part of your game grow from your freshman year to your senior year? Like, because obviously you're on people's radars. That's something they have to worry about. So how do you change what you're doing at first base, second base as time went on?
I just evolved and got better. Like, you know, does this work? Does that work? That doesn't work, you know, stuff like that. And so I've developed like a technique and a strategy and a plan. And I guess it just got good enough to where, you know, unless you're 1-1 to the plate or pitching out, like try to throw me out. I'm going. And I just got really good at it. Like they know I'm stealing and they can't stop me. And no, knock on wood, it's pro ball, so that's probably going to change, but I'm going to keep stealing and keep doing my thing.
Yeah. So going off of that, I mean, what are your goals this season? What are you trying to accomplish, you know, right now in these moments, you know, going forward? Is that something that you're putting a lot of thought into, or is it, you know, you're just taking it one day at a time, one base at a time? What's the mindset there?
I mean, the end goal is, you know, keep hitting good, you know, like you care about, what are the stats called? I don't even have them. What are like the baseball card stats? But like at the end of the day, like the number one stat, like the three top stats for me is on base percentage, runs scored, and stolen bases. And so that's the biggest thing. Like today, I go 2 for 3, but the way I look at it is I actually went 5 for 6 with getting on base.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if I have a day where I go 0 for 3 with 2 walks, I actually went 2 for 5 that day. And that's the way I got to think about it. Because the biggest thing for me, like I said, I'm going to hit my home runs, but it's more important for me to get on second for Goody or Braxton to hit that double. Or, you know, let's say the guy's a 1-1 to the plate and he's now, you know, worrying about me and he hangs that curveball or hangs the fastball for Goody or Braxton or Coco or every guy on our team. I've never had a team, by the way, that can everyone top to bottom can number one break, but also just hit bombs. And it's funny too, because like our two like biggest power hitters, which I'd say is like Yonkeel and EJ, like they both have like 1 or 2, and they're the biggest guys in the team. And they're constantly just giving each other crap. They're like, no power, like calling each other out. And then like me and Guerrero are sitting over here with like 4, be like, yeah, we got more power than you guys. Like, if we had like a home run derby, like I would even hit 1 in a home run derby and they hit like 30. It's just funny.
Did you meet EJ Andrews just after the draft, or did you guys have kind of thought maybe there might have been, you know, that California connection?
The only guy I knew before, like from my draft class, was I kind of knew Calf.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Did you faced him a few times, right?
Yeah, dude. I remember specifically we were playing at Oregon. Whenever I went to Oregon, I don't know what it was, but I turned into Helen Keller. Like, no, it was bad. So like if I ever get to Spokane and we play the Hops, or not the Hops, Eugene Emeralds, I might have to sit the entire week because I only got bad memories there. But I remember going against Calf, and like I said, I was Helen Keller that week, and it was like 0-2, and he throws a slider and it hits me and I swing, strikeout.
No.
And I remember the catcher's like, it's like, I know it's a strikeout. And the catcher's like, oh, I hit him. It's a strikeout. And I'm just walking back to the box or back to Doug. I'm like, I know. Dang it. And me and Calf still joke about it. He's like, yeah, that was a good slider. I'm like, no, it wasn't. I just sucked. Don't give yourself credit.
Did you get
Uh,
a hit off of him at all? Like you guys probably faced a couple.
probably
times?
not.
Okay.
Maybe at our place, but and I knew Sems. Sems I knew well because we played in the Cape together.
Okay, yeah,
So
that makes sense. So, I mean, speaking of summer league ball, let's go to Traverse City a little bit. So, are you the reason the Northern Michigan Dune Bears are no longer in existence?
no, that's because it was a COVID thing because
Right.
they created those pods and stuff. I tell you what, for the 3 or 4 games I played there, that was one heck of a summer because I was there for 4th of July. So I got to go. We had 4th of July off. 3 teams. We were the team that was off, so we got to go out and go boating at some sandbar in Michigan.
Did you
That
go to
was
Torch Lake?
unreal.
You probably went to Torch Lake.
I went to Torch Lake. Yeah,
The sandbar in Torch Lake is a riot. We went there
that's
last
where we
summer.
were.
It's you can walk miles in waist high water on the sandbar, and everybody's got their boats anchored down, and you're just hopping boat to boat.
Oh, it was fun.
That's awesome. You got to experience that.
Absolute
Traverse City
blast.
is so much fun, especially during the summertime.
Well, and it's weird too because like baseball's taking me everywhere. And was it the Kid Rock song "Summertime in Northern Michigan"?
Yep.
Like, I got to experience the summer in Northern Michigan for the smallest time, and I tell you what, you got a boat, it's fun. I'll still say though, nothing beats a Seattle summer. Unreal. Lake Washington, perfect weather. The water's warm. Doesn't rain.
That's the thing. All the lakes out here are still 50 degrees in the middle of July. Like it seems to never warm
Seattle
up.
was like 80 degrees, like the weather, 85. And for some reason, the water's warm. Like I couldn't explain
it. It's a nice problem to have. That's for sure.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea. I was looking at your baseball reference, but I had no idea the Dune Bears were actually a team. So it looked like it was just for that pod that they tried the pandemic thing. What did you guys play? Maybe 20 games? If that?
No, I played 3. They played more after, but like they caught like COVID. Everyone caught COVID.
Right.
And I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm going home.
And that was it. That's when you said peace. All right. I was trying to figure out it was such a wild rabbit hole that I went down and was trying to figure out who the heck these Dune Bears are and what was happening.
Yeah, that was fun though. And a bunch of my guys on my team. And we were staying at these like summer camp cabins.
Yeah.
And we like summer ball's a grind. But there's no AC in these cabins.
Oh gosh.
And when I tell you it was 130 in those cabins, it was 130. And we actually, I think, there's 2 guys per cabin. Me and Preston Viltz, we had, I think, 8 fans in our little area. Just crushing air. Oh.
Doing everything you possibly can.
Dude,
there's no way that was comfortable.
It low-key, like, you just embrace the suck, but we still talk about it this day. We're like, dude, could you imagine spending 2 months there, like 80 games? We're like, no. No.
I mean, at least you had a roof, I guess, and electricity to blow the fans, right? Embrace the suck. One of those things. But yeah, like you said, you didn't stay very long.
Traverse City was fun though. I love Traverse City.
Yeah, we always go there.
There's this like fish taco place. I don't know where, but it was delicious. The best fish tacos I've had, which is weird because it's Michigan.
Right. Yeah. Coming from Seattle, like there's no way.
Yeah. Or California or legit Mexico.
Right.
Like you go to Mexico.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay. I might need to find that one. Can't say I've had a lot of fish tacos up there. So how much fun is it being back home in Fresno playing? How stoked is your mom that she can like go everywhere to watch you play now?
I don't think she's missed a game.
No.
It has not. I've had a bunch of friends and family. I think I had like 10 people there today. Another like 5 that like I didn't know were showing up and they talked to me after. But no, it's fun, especially because like I haven't been back like for a summer here and like, well, I guess COVID counts, but before that it was like 3 years, 4 years. So it's been fun. You know, it's good seeing the family. It's good actually seeing like my friends from home all the time. Like I'll be home tomorrow, just playing golf and hanging out. So it's been a blessing. And then if I get promoted to, Spokane, I'll be still like 4 hours, 3 hours, but from Seattle, which is still my stomping grounds. And like one of my best friends is like 3 hours away in Montana.
So you just had that whole side of the country.
Yeah, West Coast
unlocked.
is solid. The moment I go to Hartford, I'm screwed though.
Gonna have to put up your mom for a little bit, just so
Not only will I be in the hardest league ever, but I'll be I'll be away from home.
Right. Yeah, that's gonna be. It'll be fun when you get there, though. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Cause chaos some way or another.
I actually played at their stadium in Hartford when we were in the Cape.
It's nice. It looks so nice there.
It is. I think I went 0 for 4 with like 3 Ks, but it was fun.
Look it all in anyway.
Yeah.
Still
but like,
there.
Can you imagine though being given a more like fitting opportunity to start your career? Like you're home now. And then you'll go to your next home.
Fresno AAA Stadium, Spokane, Hartford AAA Stadium, Albuquerque AAA Stadium. Like we're blessed at 3 levels.
Yeah.
It is really cool. And Chikansey Park, like, shoot, you guys sold out Star Wars night. How nuts was that? 13,000?
So sick.
13, 14,000.
And Fresno has a really good fan base, and they really care. The people of Fresno, or the staff, the front office, all awesome. I haven't seen a single heard a single bad thing. I haven't experienced a single bad thing. Our groundskeepers, they're Hispanic guys. They cook food for us after in the back every once in a while, some tacos. Oh, and they're delicious. So it's good stuff.
It was really cool. I know we say like every time we talk to somebody playing for Fresno or talk to the Fresno guys, but we really need to get out there.
Oh yeah,
somewhere or another. But that would be,
and it's blessed too if you're Latin, because it's a big Hispanic area. Mm-hmm. So everyone knows Spanish if you go anywhere. So the Latins get to have somewhat of a normal life. They can slow down what they say, because even Mexicans can't understand Cubans and Dominicans.
Right.
It's so funny. All my Mexican friends are just like, what did they say?
Even then. Yeah, I mean the different dialects and all that. Like
no. And I all my Mexican friends who like are fluent, I'll like say Latin slang to them and they'll be like, what?
It's like us trying to talk to a Southerner.
Yeah, no.
I have no idea what they ever say.
Someone from Louisiana, like.
Right, exactly.
Have you picked up Spanish just, in your life, but also like this year?
I mean, I knew like some Spanish, like not a lot, but some, because I took 4 years of it in high school. Yeah. Which our curriculum was so weird in high school. Like they teach you like how to say like past, present, and future tense of like the same sentence. When like, dude, teach me how to say like a bunch of words. I don't care if I speak broken Spanish. They'll understand me, But I probably learned more Spanish talking to our guys than I have in like, the 4 years of high school.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Like,
and cause it's good too, because like they're trying to learn English. So they know some English, and then they say some and you'll either correct them or you'll be like, hey, how do you say that in Spanish?
Ben, what can you just tell us about like those guys as players? Because it's a pretty ridiculous Latin American presence that you guys have on the team. Like just, you guys are stacked. You mentioned Guerrero and Yanquiel, Amador,
Brito,
Victor Juarez,
Bernabel, Brito, Juarez.
What can you just say about those, whether you go down individually or just, as a whole, what can you say about those?
Well, just first of all, like mad respect to all of them, because like I couldn't imagine, like for instance, Benny Montgomery, hope he gets better. 19, 18 years old, coming to a place, no other high schoolers on his team, that's hard enough, especially playing with like adults, growner men. But you have these same guys who are 18, 19, 20 years old, who don't speak English or barely any, going to a foreign country, playing in a foreign city and having to live here. Granted, all of them will say it's it's a better living style, but that's still the amount of pressure you put on these young kids. Oh, it's unreal. So mad respect to all of them from the start. But, one thing the Rockies have been really good at is they really, draft the right guys and, scout the right guys and get the right group of guys in. So all those Latin guys, we love all of them. You know, we're all talking in the locker room. We're all connected in the locker room. We're all talking smack to each other in the locker room. So it's, you know, we treat each other, you know, they treat us amazing. We treat them good or amazing. And so it's fun.
Who's the biggest clown? Who's the biggest locker room clown?
It's not even so much clown. I'd say me, but it's more certain guys get into it with each other more. So that's fun. Like Brito and Goody are constantly just going at it. It's so much fun. So now the biggest thing right now is EJ brought in Dominoes, the game, and the Latins. It's another octave right now when they're playing that game. I got to put headphones on or earmuffs. I mean, they're screaming playing that game, betting in like push-ups and air squats. Oh, my ears still ring. That's fun.
Gonna see some more jacks from Yanquil in a little bit with all those domino push-ups.
No, like yeah, seriously. He was a little sick today. But he'll get better. He'll be fine.
Yeah. That's so cool. Like to go behind the scenes like that and making we hear it all the time, like the locker room camaraderie. That's such a big deal. Like we saw it with Spokane with their late run last year, like winning 20 of 23. I mean, Rocktober, we all know about Rocktober. Like there is something about that camaraderie growing up with that team. Like these are gonna be your teammates for next 4 or 5 years at minimum, right? As you guys keep going up a level together. So building that now, building that foundation, I'm sure it's fun, but it's also super important going forward.
Well, that's why the Rockies, Chris Forbes, our player development guy, you know, like what minor league ball is all about player development and, you know, getting better. So like a lot of teams don't care about winning. And the cool thing about the Rockies is they think that, like, I agree, that, you know, you learn to win together at the lower levels so you can do it in the major leagues. So like if we're winning, if all these guys are winning, you know, Fresno and they go to Spokane and win, they go to Hartford and win, and you learn how to win, you know, when me, Goody, Braxton, and Amador, you know, are all in the show, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, we know how to win with each other. And so that's the thing. It's all about, you know, you got to get better, but you also have to learn how to win and learn how to win the right way. So it's cool seeing that we actually do care about winning. Because like what in college you hear, everyone's selfish. They just care about their own stats and they don't care if you win. I'm like, yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's cool. Especially, I mean, it's kind of being built up too in Fresno because they won last year, or they made the playoffs last year, like second in the league, and so they're kind of having that winning culture already being built. And here you guys are kind of the new crew, you know, kind of rebuilding that, and figuring out how to win the right way. And that will go farther in the long run, right? Than just right now, and building that off of that. So again, as a fan, hearing that is super dope. Like it's kind of like a breath of fresh air going forward with all, like, what do we expect as we keep watching you all progress as we go down the road. So that's cool. I love that.
And the funny thing is too, is like our team's really good, and we like look at it and like, obviously, like it's weird to us to think that, like, because this is our first year, it's like, oh, there's going to be a new draft. And it's like, when you have like a bunch of players like playing well, it's like, well, who should the Rockies draft? It's like, well, like from our perspective, we're like, oh, we're like checking all the boxes here. Like, oh, we don't need catching. We don't need outfield, yada, yada, yada. So it's just like, I mean, you're going to draft the best guys. And like, I really don't care about that stuff, but it's just funny to think that like a whole new set of faces is going to be here in Fresno next year or in the Org. And like, hopefully we just get better.
Right. And keep pushing each other to be better as you guys keep going forward. Like how much do you guys push each other? Like you outfielders, right? You, Benny, EJ, Yanquil, Juan. How much do you guys push each other each day as you're, you know, practicing and doing all the stuff?
Yeah, we get on each other. I mean, we really do care. Especially with Benny, you know, being the high school guy, like us college guys, had 4 years of getting to screw up in college and learning how to be an outfielder. Right. So, you know, like we help him out, you know, quite a bit, trying to, you know, help him mature as quickly and as good as possible. So it's more stuff like that. You know, us older guys try to really help out the younger guys, whether it's, you know, hitting or like approach wise or mentality wise. Because a lot of guys, remember, this is like the first time they're struggling, or the first time they're injured, or the first time they're finding failure when they've been dominant their entire life, which in college we get to experience really early that we are vulnerable, or we can suck. And so it's nice to see that everyone, you know, does care about the other, even if the guy's in your spot. So,
and what can you say about, you know, Benny? You've mentioned him being, you know, he's a teenager playing with a bunch of like more grown guys just with experience. Like, are you kind of surprised by how he's taken this transition? Obviously, he's been a little, you know, banged up, which sucks to see. But what can you say about him as a person?
I love Benny. You gotta remember, like, from a tough perspective, like, sure, like, he got a lot of money in the draft, his first round pick. But when you're the only high school guy, like when he signed his contract, he pretty much fast forward 4 years. You know, like, he didn't get to experience college. He didn't get to be a young, dumb, stupid kid. He instantly became a grown working adult. And that's really hard to transition. I mean, especially you're coming from, you know, nowhere, Pennsylvania, to now Fresno, California in the Valley. And so it's a tough transition, and he's doing it well, and he's taking it one step at a time. And he's gonna be really good. He's young. That's like the only thing holding him back is just maturity, in the sense of, you know, just how fast the game is right now, and, you know, just getting more reps and getting, you know, more at bats and stuff. Like, he's going to be a really good player. He hits the ball the farthest on the team. It's not close.
Okay.
And the hardest. It's really funny, actually. You're like, because he has such a big swing and unique swing. Call him like the baby giraffe, and then he just hits like, he'll just casually hit oppo bombs when we're barely, you know, pulling him out. It's like what the heck? It's not fair.
Right. He really is built different.
Yeah, like he's really efficient with his swing. And, you know, it was actually funny. I remember when we first got here, he was telling me how he was faster than me, and I'm like, buddy, you're not. I'm like, you got a lot more money than me in the draft, but I will put the rest of my signing bonus on that I can beat you in a race. I'm like, I will put it right now.
Have you guys?
He still hasn't raced me, but now
I was about to ask.
He's like, all right, you're quick.
he was the young buck trying to become the lead of the pack there, trying to find where he needs to fit.
We put him in check quick. But he does a really good job of, you know, doing stuff. And I remember telling him in spring training too. I remember telling, especially him, but I was like, I'm really excited to see all the young guys, and because I know they're all good and they're all gonna be good. But I told them I was excited to see how they deal with failure. And when they eventually hit their slump, or they eventually experience, you know, 2 or 3 games in a row of just being, you know, the worst player in baseball, which we all have that feeling. And I even told him, I'm like, buddy, like, you're gonna struggle. Like, it's just gonna happen at some point in the season. You might be batting 500 and then go through a 0 for 20 or 0 for 30 little stint, and you're gonna lose your mind. And I remember I got to fast forward. I got to see him go through it and try to help him get through it. And, you know, those are the experiences that make you a better player, because you not only have to learn how to deal with it, but learn how to get out of it and ask for help and what works, what doesn't. So it's fun to see. And like I said, hope he recovers soon. We want him back, because Benny, like, he's a clown. Like, he's so unique and such a goofball, because he's like he's a high schooler. I mean, he's a freshman in college, and like, we all treat him like that. It's so funny. But then, like, also he's better than us, kind of.
And he's got a thick back pocket.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's why we make him pay for everything. We're like, Danny, we need a speaker, and then he's like, all right, bet. Goes to the speaker the next day.
Nothing wrong with that. That's awesome.
No, like, yeah.
That's cool to hear. Like you said, the young guy trying to figure it out, and will figure it out, and gives us.
And the cool thing is, like, yeah, he's
horizon.
not cocky about it. He's just. I remember telling him too, like, Benny, like, what are you struggling? I'm like, yeah, remember this. You got about your first rounder, paid you a lot of money. You got about 2 to 3 years of like being the worst player in baseball before they even think about, cutting you or think about, sending you somewhere. I'm like, dude, you can just relax. Like you're fine. You have a get out of jail free card for a while. I'm like, if I bat 100 this season, I need to be worried. You don't.
I mean, that is reality. That's
like it's the cards were dealt.
You're right. That's fun. That's cool. I love that. I'm sure we could sit here and talk all night, but we're gonna try to wrap this up with. We always like to fun questions at the end, kind of get to know you. Questions that you see on your college profile type questions. So we'll start with this one. What is your go-to game day meal if you had a choice?
So I'm gonna say Chick-fil-A, even though no, I used to Chick-fil-A in college because we're not allowed to eat that right now. We can only eat healthy for the Rockies. So I'm gonna go with Chipotle for the Rockies watching.
Okay. That is probably the most common answer we get.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else. Chipotle.
You guys have to actually, I guess you can't even say it, but I assume that there's some Chick-fil-A like covert ops that you guys are sneaking your way over there.
Post game, we might go to In-N-Out or Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
To celebrate a win. Just get those calories in that I need.
I mean, you're burning it all on the bases, so you have to get it somehow, right?
Yeah.
What is your walk-up song? I guess we haven't listened enough. Yeah, what's your walk-up song right now? Or what would be your walk-up song? Your ideal.
My walk-up song right now is it's especially for the people of Fresno because most people are country or love country music. So it's a Happy Hour at Morgan Wallen.
Okay. It's a good one to get going. Is that
what
you're
the people of Fresno just start slugging when the song comes on? Happy Hour. That's my whole thought process. It's for the people.
We have a few fans we could reach out to. We'll have them.
There you go.
I can work something out there. That could work. Is that what you're usually having the AirPods, the country music going, or what's on your playlist?
I actually listen to everything. Depends on my mood. I have everything from my 2 top favorite artists of all time are Post Malone and Taylor Swift. So very crazy, but I listen to everything from rap, Polo G, Post Malone, Taylor Swift, country, Morgan Wallen, Avenged Sevenfold from metal, Disturbed, like everything.
The whole gambit,
Screamo, country, EDM with Louis the Child, Zed, like actually everything. Got some Christian rock in there too somewhere.
Just keep everybody on their toes there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then my favorite question, what is your favorite baseball moment from Little League to now? And it is completely okay to be selfish.
Oh, it's 100% going to Omaha.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I can't see the draft because, like, I think that's like a lifelong goal and achievement that happened, but it has to be going to Omaha and experiencing that. Just like the camera being right in my face as the 2-hole hitter and just not being phased whatsoever.
Not 19
years. I'm 19 years old with 70,000 people screaming. We got about 1,000 Oregon State fans that are just saying the worst things possible.
Yeah.
And then the other 68,000 fans just yelling at the Oregon State people. That was my favorite thing about Omaha was like we played Mississippi State, all our fans back and forth. But then after game, it's like, hey, good game. That was fun. It's like a love-hate. It's like, it was all love. Oregon State. Oh, everyone hated Oregon State. They're the worst fan base in the world. And I will call them out. Oregon State baseball. The players love them. The fans, I hate you all.
They're spoiled, dude. They're very spoiled.
Dude, like they're the kind of fans that like after the game will like follow your coach and like try to fight him or like literally cause a scene. Like I remember being in Corvallis. I'm not gonna say what they say, but it is you'd get canceled on Twitter for it. You get fired.
It's nasty up there, huh?
Nah, dude, it's bad. Like
but James and I are from Nebraska and we grew up going to Omaha. That was always our summertime. Until we obviously moved away. But I can agree that I would agree that Oregon State's fans were never very welcoming to us, like independents, you could say. But always enjoyed, like Louisiana State was always very welcoming. Mississippi State, like usually the Southern teams are like, all right, yeah, we can have fun out in the bleachers together, bleacher creatures.
Well, like there's a big difference between like heckling and being like fun and funny and like good game and like some other stuff. Like I've had some great chirps I've been in Fresno. I think I was in Corvallis and some dude was talking about my perm, and I'm like, oh, it's a good one. It's not an actual perm, but he's like calling it a perm. But that was a good one. I was like, I haven't heard that one before. That was good.
Yeah, it's that line, right? It's that line.
Yeah, it's Oregon State. You're like, oh my God, they hate me.
They're just terrible people.
They're the kind of people that will like look up like your Instagram and like talk mad bad stuff about like your girlfriend or your family, or like just awful things. You're like, what the heck? How do you know this?
You just like hear your mom's name, they'll be like,
oh dude, it's terrible.
It's bad.
Like, oh my God. Like I was like, I think I told my parents not to go to the Oregon State series. I'm like, you don't. Please
stay home for all of us.
Yeah, like if my dad will try to fight someone and get fired, it'll be a whole mess.
How many beach balls did you have to go get? Do you remember your count?
Maybe like 3 or 4. My favorite thing though about being in the outfield and center is it had like I think Mississippi State fans got like oh, center field sucks, like my name going. But like as a chant, so it was fun. But then like the crowd turned on each other because they were trying to be louder than the other, like the right field and left field. And then it changed to like left field sucks, but like meaning like left field fans suck. And like the right field fans suck. And then they started going at each other and then backing me up. It was the weirdest couple innings I've ever experienced of guys like, no, we're going to talk smack to him. No, we are. He's our guy. It's bipolar as heck. It was fun.
It's awesome.
That is my favorite chant of all time. That was always my favorite thing to do out in the bleachers. Left field, right field sucks was such a blast. And then the waves, the different speed of waves was always a good time too.
The amount of waves is insane.
Yeah. Rockies fans will hate that. But are you a fan of the wave? Like as a player, like do you even notice? Do you give a shit? Like, I
mean, if there's like if it's like a sold out crowd and you get it going like in the 7th inning, like it's cool. It's not going to affect me on the field. I'm going to be distracted by it.
Right. Okay.
But like if I see it for a half an inning, I think it's cool. But like give it a 2 or 3 rotations, cut it quits.
Right. It usually goes about 5 too long, but
it goes about 25.
It just keeps going. It keeps going. Braiden, this was awesome, and we probably will have to catch up with you when you
for sure
sometime in the off season later in the year. This was everything I expected it to be and more. Yeah. So I appreciate you spending this time. Keep raking, keep showing it off, and we will keep doing our end and just keep talking you up as much as we can. This was fantastic.
Love it. Thanks for having me. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching and listening. Please check out our link tree for more content.